All right, we are live. It is September 23rd, 2018, and welcome to episode 1 of Funny Like a Clown podcast by Dennis Wirth. That's me. We're here to make you laugh, to amuse you. And I am here with brother Nate Thomas, who's in from Alaska. We're recording here in Massachusetts. We're actually in Salem, Massachusetts today, Nate. And you're staying in a hotel that we're filming in, and this is supposedly the most haunted hotel in Salem, Massachusetts.
That's what they tell me.
How do you feel about sleeping here today, man?
I don't know. I hope I don't get raped.
No, you don't want to get raped by a ghost, man. You don't know that, right? Yeah. Well, you don't let me know if that happens?
I will.
All right, I get the inside scoop. I get all the good stories.
I'll need to call you.
But the reason we're here, man, is because we have a similar interest in comedy, and that interest would be Sam Kinison, who we think minute for minute best comedian ever lived, right?
Yes, indeed.
I mean, Richard Pryor and George Carlin, they had long careers, so you don't know what Sam would on to, because what it went on to do, because he had an early death. But if you took a minute of Sam's comedy against a minute of any other comedian, I think he'd win. By far. And well, the idea of the show was Jerry Seinfeld has a show out. It's Getting Coffee with Comedians, and his idea is he sits down, has a coffee, and he interviews comedians. But Jerry Seinfeld's a pussy. Okay, so we're not gonna. The idea of this show, okay, because we're men, we're beer drinkers, right? We don't drink coffee. We're beer guys. So we're gonna have a couple of beers, but unfortunately, the hotel don't have a liquor license. So episode 2, we're gonna bring you some beer. But for this episode. No, actually, I got to tell you a quick story about Jerry Seinfeld. Okay, I was at the Gotham performing in New York City. I was in the green room. I was on my cell phone. I looked up and I'm staring next to Jerry Seinfeld and Jim Gaffigan. And Jerry is actually, I joke, he actually was a cool guy. There was this young kid. He went up to him and he went to shake his hand. And out of the corner of his eye, Jerry must have caught him as he was going down some stairs. Now, most comics would have kept walking. Jerry hit the bottom of the stairs, turned around, walked right back up those stairs just to shake that young kid's hand. I said, man, that's how you do it.
Wow.
That was cool of him.
That's cool.
Jim Gaffigan, on the other hand, he was freaking out. I don't know why. He's like, oh, I'm getting noticed. I gotta get out of here. Get out of here. Bolts out of there. He didn't want nothing to do with nobody. I had friends, they told me later on outside, they recognized him, like, hey, Jim, like, busy guy, sorry, gotta get out of here. Now, he's a dick, so I got something for you, Jim. It's right behind here. I'm not going to tell you what it is. But for Jim Gaffigan, hey, how did that get there? I don't know, but that's for Jim Gaffigan. But never forget where you come from, right?
That's right.
That's right, because we're just down-to-earth guys. But, so you want to tell them the story of how we met, or should I tell them? Or?
Well...
What's your version of the story? You go first.
My version, eBay.
eBay it is.
eBay it is. I used to buy things, collectibles on Sam Kinison. And there was some joker that kept outbidding me, and I'd outbid him, and so we kind of hated each other for a while. And that happened to be Dennis.
That happened to be me, right? So.
And so then.
And I hated him too, because I could have paid $20, and instead I'm paying $200 for something. I got $20, but this fucker's bidding against me.
Motherfuckers.
But did you always have a respect for me? Because I always respected you. I hated you for driving the price up, but I knew you loved this shit as much as I did.
Exactly.
Did you think the same thing about me?
I thought, man, we're a dying breed. We got to know each other.
So after we bought so many of these items, we started to talk to each other.
Yeah.
And Sam kind of brought us together, and we've been 25 years now. We've been chatting on the internet.
Of friendship, loyal friendship.
So and we'd always joked. We said we were such big Sam Kinison fans that someday before we died, we had to meet.
Yes.
We made that happen.
Yep.
So I live in Mass. He lives in Alaska. I hopped up on a plane and went up to Alaska.
Yep. You did a gig up there.
And that's right. We actually had Sam's opener, Carl LeBove. He was up there performing at Coots Comedy Club, and you were nice enough to get me on that show opening for him. And
it was funny.
And it was my dream in life. I had to open for Carl LeBove, because that was my connection to Sam. Was him and his best friend. But you got me on the show, and I actually felt bad because there were some comics up there. I guess they had contests. They won the open for Carl LeBove, and they all got pushed down to fit me on the show. But I mean, welcome to show business, right? But that was cool. You made that happen. But what was your thought when I first came up?
I was excited because we talked on the phone many times.
Right.
But to be in the same room together, and it's just different, than on the phone.
So now we have 2 wild collections of Sam Kinison, okay?
Oh, yeah.
So when I went up to Alaska, I got to see your collection. Tell them a little bit. What's in your Sam Kinison collection?
Oh, I got anything from autographs like you have, all the live recordings bootleg recordings that are out there. People put them on DVD and audio CDs.
Nothing that was released. It's all smuggled stuff you had to find.
And of course, we buy that shit, me and him. And I've got a few trench coats that belong to him, a couple guitars, the Black Beret from the Louder Than Hell album cover.
Yeah, the Rainbow Beret.
The Rainbow Beret from the Wild Thing video. Yeah, there's quite a bit of odds.
You got the Freedom Jacket. Don't forget that's the pride and joy of your collection right there, right? The Freedom Jacket from Saturday Night Live, right?
It was live in Vegas. If you've
live
seen
in
that.
Vegas, yeah, it was on there. He's playing on it. You got the guitar he played in, the trench coat he played in, but
Yep. And the first HBO coat. That's one of my.
So it was cool because you let me try on all this stuff when I was up there. I was like a kid in the candy store taking pictures of stuff because you know how much I love Sam. But
I trust you.
What first got you interested in Sam? What brought you into the guy?
Wow, it's one of his first bits that really got me was, you ever had a woman break your heart? You know, screaming and
haven't we all?
And haven't we all?
Yeah.
So I fell in love with him. You know, of course, when you're a kid and you got girls that break your heart. And I don't know, I was like 14 when I discovered him telling that shit. And
but it was almost like therapy because instead of he made you laugh about it where you wanted to cry, but instead it helps.
It was almost like a therapist kind of thing.
There you go.
But yeah, that's exactly. I'd escape by listening to that.
So what are some of your more favorite bits that Sam did?
Oh boy, there's so many of them.
I know it's tough to choose from.
So many of them. Holy shit! I got to narrow it down. Holy crap!
I mean, I'll give you a couple of my favorite. The phone call from hell when he called up people's ex-girlfriends that broke their heart and told them off. You whore, you broke my. That was one of my favorites. The love song where, he start out with this beautiful piano bit that just starts screaming at women.
Hell yeah!
But what were some of your favorites?
Well, I just when he was the young comedian special they had.
That was the one that broke him, yeah.
And when he was talking about, I like women to tell me what they want me to do. And he was yelling about, would you fuck me harder? Okay, I'll
but
fuck
they
you
never
harder.
tell you. You got to figure out, he says, right?
And he starts taking his fist. How's this? Bam!
Boom, boom.
Bam! And then he started acting like he was driving a car.
He's in with his foot, and he's in with the car.
And I just never seen anything like that before. And I just laughed my fucking ass off.
Yeah, he went a lot of places other comics were scared to go to, and he had no fear, man. He went there.
That was the first thing that I'd seen that just blew me away, and I started collecting everything as far as I could find. That was in the record stores back then, or the catalogs.
What you could find on him. Nobody knew him before that. He was known, and 6 minutes later, 6 minutes, he was the hottest comic on the planet.
Good stuff.
But the one I like too was The Devil Gets Pissed Off If You've Been Married, when you're coming down the hallway to hell. I want to scare him up. Oh, you've been married? All right, come on, Anna. But it's all true stuff too, and even but a lot of people wouldn't tackle. I guess the routine he's most remembered for, it's sand, you live in a desert, where, you wanted to bring the people who live in the desert to the food instead of bringing the food to him. But, when you saw those commercials, you weren't supposed to make fun of it. You were supposed to feel bad for the kids. And in his mind, he twisted it around in a different direction. But that's what he was known best for right there. So, So after that on Sam, and I went up to Alaska and I visited you, we actually got together a little bit later. And here comes his beautiful wife, Dana. Say hi, Dana. Say hi to the folks.
Hi.
Beautiful wife, Dana. Whispering sweet nothings in his ear. And he's agreeing like a good husband, like any good husband would.
I want to be on the couch tonight.
But there you go. Don't want to be on the couch, man. That'll be a Sam Kinison routine in itself right there. Well, you got the ghost. You still got to look forward to it here. In Salem, Mass, you don't know what's going to happen in the haunted hotel.
You never know.
But after that, we flew out to Vegas, and we met up in Vegas. What happened out there?
Oh, well, we seen the original Outlaws without Sam. Sam, of course.
First time in what was it, 20 or 25 years they've been together? Since the 90s, anyway. We're 2018, so.
Yeah.
The original Outlaws got together, headlined by Carl LeBove.
Yep.
So who you actually became good friends with.
Yes.
I mean, explain, how did you become good friends with Carl?
Well, someone brought him to a club up there in Anchorage, where I'm from, and
you had to see him.
After the show, I hung around with my ticket, and I was nervous to meet him, because I was a fan,
Right.
And I walked up to him after the show, and hey man, would you sign this ticket for me? He goes, are you kidding me? Sure, I'll sign that.
Love to.
And he signed it. And
Carl didn't forget where he came from.
I had a beer with me, and then I bought him a beer, and it was just like, it's like we always knew each other almost.
Now, was it true? I heard the story. When you first saw his show, you walked in and the place was packed, and you walked up and dropped the $100 bill on the front table. Is that true? You did that?
I wanted to be
You
in
wanted
the
front seat, and they took the money.
And I walked up to these kids that evidently won their tickets, didn't even care.
Oh, they won them, so
down for free. And I said, hey, would you like to sell your table? What do you mean sell my table? I said, well, I'll give you $100 for these 2 seats. Okay.
No argument at all.
The guy's woman was pissed.
Shows how big of a fan, right?
She was pissed.
Women always get pissed.
Are you kidding me? What? And so he didn't.
They're gonna get pissed at something else, even if they didn't take the money.
Yeah,
so at least they made $100, you know.
He didn't get laid that night.
That's right, but you probably did.
But I did.
That's right. That's some money I'm getting you right there, man.
That's how I roll. But I got the front row in the seat, and he found out that I dropped a $100 bill to be there. And he hung around to meet me to see who did that.
Right.
And so it kind of stemmed off from there. And then I brought him up.
He did another show, and he actually
my
stayed
birthday.
with you at your house, right? You hired him for your
party.
birthday, okay.
Yeah, I was 30, boy, I'm getting old. I think it was my 36th birthday party.
Okay.
And he hung out in my house, and we rented a room, and we had like little fake tickets we were giving out to people. It was free.
It was a bash, right?
Yeah.
Hanging out with your hero, that was cool.
And so we had a big birthday party, and everyone got drunk and had a great time.
And then you want a fishing trip with him too, or something?
Oh yeah.
Because you're in Alaska, you got to go fishing. That's what it's all about up there, right?
Took him fishing, halibut fishing, whale watching. Cruising.
Oh, I know. When you go fishing, you drink a few beers.
Yeah.
Can you tell us any deep dark secrets you guys talked about, or what was? What did you like to talk about? Comedy mostly, or was it personal stuff, or the memories, or
all the memories and stuff? Yeah, he would talk about.
Because you want to know, you're a kid in the candy. Tell me more. Tell me more, right?
Of course.
Because that's how I was when you brought me up and I met him in Alaska. It was like, oh yeah, tell me more, Carl. Tell me more.
Yeah. And I get a little seasick now and then, so I kind of let the wife take him fishing. I stayed back, drank the beer, and babysit the pool.
That's the way you had to do, right?
So, then he got back. We all had a few beers and went out to dinner. But we've been friends for years, and he comes up.
It is a good friendship out of it.
I always see him.
I became friends with him, and a couple times I met him in Alaska. And then back to Vegas. I mean, we were hanging out with him. He was doing the Tropicana there with the Outlaws. Then he did a Brad Garrett's Comedy Club right across the strip. He was doing. We were just hanging out with him the whole time and doing shows. And after the show, going to the buffets. And
I know what you're thinking.
That's what he's thinking. See, because they don't have a liquor license. Or trust me, we'd be drinking some beer right now.
Water. Not vodka, water.
What's your favorite beer?
My favorite beer, boy.
All of it.
Well,
all of it, his wife screams in the background.
Free
is
beer.
True if you know Nate.
Free beer is my favorite.
Nobody can keep up with you drinking, man. I couldn't even come close. But no, I'm a liquor guy. I hit the liquor because the beer, I'm a big dude, man, and it takes a lot of beer. Once I hit the liquor, that's when I get going.
I was born on St. Patrick's Day, and I'm 60% Irish, so I got a license.
So that's a license to party?
Yeah.
Okay, so, well, I mean, we were going to buffets with Carl and hanging out with,
right,
the wifeys and the girlfriend and everything. But now, I mean, back to Sam. I mean, what if you could sit with Sam right now? What would you like to ask Sam? If you could sit on a bench with Sam right now and have him come back to life for 1 hour, what were a couple of questions you want to ask him?
Oh boy, I didn't.
Weren't ready for that one, right? What do you ask your hero, man?
Yeah.
Right? But,
holy shit, boy. Well, first of all, I'd probably have a flask with me. No.
You got to have a drink with Sam if you're going to meet him, right?
He liked his vodka.
What do you think the first question of?
First question. Is it hot down there?
Yeah, he said if you're gonna miss heaven, man, miss it by don't miss it by a little bit. You miss it by a mile. But he led the rock and roll lifestyle, no doubt about that.
Sure he did.
Now, do you think that was because he started out a preacher?
Yes.
And went to a rock and roll, which is totally opposite of the church. But I mean, always in his heart, it was a lot of stage, but his heart, the church was always there. But he did some wild stuff.
Yeah.
And, well, moving on from that, you can think about your questions, but you actually met his brother Bill, too, Bill Kinison, who we actually met again. How did you meet Bill?
Oh, boy, he put a book out, 20 some odd years ago, 20 years ago, something.
Yeah, long time.
I was on the internet, and I had contacted him. I asked him if I was in the area, would he sign my book, because I was going to California, and he said, sure, and he gave me his phone number. And I took my daughter to Disneyland with my wife. We swung by and met up, had him sign my book. I still have it to this day, part of my collection. And back in the day, when he was signing books back then, he had a bar called Kinison's.
Yeah, with all Sam's memorabilia in it and everything.
Coats
right.
on the wall.
All displayed and everything.
The
Yeah.
guitars hanging up. It was just amazing. It was fun. That was badass for me. That was a great part.
And
of
you
my
know,
trip.
when we were out in Vegas, we took a road trip across the desert out to LA. You brought me to his house. We stayed over at his house, slept overnight in Bill's house, and
Yeah.
and his wife Sherry, sweetheart, sweetest woman you ever meet.
Oh yeah.
She pulled out all of Sam's old coats and all stuff for us to try on, and we were like kids in a candy store. But I mean,
yeah, we just tickled.
they had the guitar, you know, some of the guitars he played, and he's got quite the collection of stuff. But
Yeah.
what were some of the stuff you were more impressed that he had?
Oh well, most of those coats, man. Those
Yeah, because there wasn't like 5 coats. There was 10 coats. There must have been 100 coats. There was a bunch of coats and shirts.
guitars.
And we took pictures of them and posted them. And Alan Stephen, who was one of the Outlaws, he saw it and he was telling me like he had Comedy Store bathrobes, or there was only like 5 made. A Tropicana jacket, there was only 2 made for comedians. So
very limited.
it was
stuff.
very
cool.
limited stuff. And
The Louder Than Hell tour coat was really cool.
Yeah, right.
It wasn't a trench. It was more of a waistline coat.
But it was funny because he just recently released I Am Sam, documentary about Sam, and as I'm watching, I'm looking like, Nate owns half the road wardrobe in this video. I was cracking up because you got half the stuff. But I mean, you know, we collected it because we loved it and we never really kept track. But I mean, I'd put a rough estimate. I must have spent 10 grand if you had to put a rough estimate on it. Well, you can't say no because your wife's behind you. So keep the number low. How much you
know
spent?
what, I know it's ridiculous.
I don't want to get punched.
Don't you want to know what the other really, really cool things that belonged to Sam in the house were?
What else do you got? Because he probably don't remember it. He said so much.
In Sherry and Bill's house. The white baby grand piano.
That used to be Sam's, yeah, because they had a lot of his furniture.
And the suit of armor are my favorite.
Right, they do have like a
Right?
knight in shining armor.
tusks
And the
are
tusks,
cool.
I was just going to say,
The
those big
tusks are
tusks
cool,
were pretty cool
But
too.
the suit of armor is pretty cool.
But for us, that's like if you love Elvis, you go to Graceland. I mean, that's our Graceland was visiting Bill and Sherry's
But who
shows.
has a suit of armor in their house but Sam Kinison?
But you know what Bill said, you know, they
Right?
led a poor lifestyle, and once Sam had money, he spent it, man. He lived the lifestyle, and who wouldn't have, right? Who wouldn't have?
Exactly. It was great.
All right, so I'll pull out my cell phone here, and we're going to go to Wikipedia here. Let's see what they got, and we can discuss what they got to say. Samuel Burrow Kinison, born December 8th, 1953, died April 10th, 1992. Now, didn't you get married on his birthday or something?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
I figured it'd be easy to remember.
That's right. You're going to get in trouble that way, right?
Can't forget the
And
anniversary.
you're renewing your vows here come December, right on the
Yeah.
actual date, right?
Yes, we are.
December 8th.
If she allows me to,
Yeah.
I'm gonna wear one of those trench coats.
Oh.
But I don't know yet. I'm gonna get
It's
permission.
your wedding. You got to get permission from the wifey.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I know
you know how to butter her up. You know what's going on. All right.
Get her coach handbag and
So, an American stand-up comedian and actor, which he did a little bit of acting. Well, I mean, Back to School. I mean, we can easily say he stole Back to School.
right.
You remembered Back to School for Sam, not anybody else who was in the
Yes.
movie, but Rodney was nice enough to give him the big break. Rodney brought up a lot of Roseanne Barr, Dice Clay. He brought up everybody, but actor, comedian, Pentecostal preacher, which. I mean, did you grow up with that? Were they screaming in your face type of?
I did. I went to those.
Because I went to Catholic, it was all a calm thing, and when I went to one of those, I was like, "Whoa!" I was almost scared, but
yeah, it's.
they really rile you up and get you going.
Oh yeah, they start dancing and hollering, and some of them pretend they're talking in tongues, and like they're.
He did that, and there's not much money in it, so I mean,
No,
he hit the rock and roll. He spent it. An intense style similar to charismatic preachers, which I mean, he brought that charisma into his comedy. Punctuated by an intense scream. Everybody remembers him for a scream, right? Born in Yakima, Washington. Died in Needles, California, on a desert road by some young kid. Robbed the world, man. Robbed the world of a genius, this son of a bitch, but
Yeah.
young and stupid. Let's see.
Those wacky churches you were talking about. They always try to make you feel guilty. Every fucking week they want you.
You're gonna pay for what you did,
No,
man.
they wanted you to ask for forgiveness every single week, and it's like once you're saved, you're saved. You know, there's no takesy backsies. You know, so.
Now we're out to Vegas. I mean, she had her reasons, whatever. But we're gonna meet Sabrina, but she had to cancel out. But you had gone out previous and met Sabrina. What was that like meeting?
Oh.
That was his wife's sister and one of his stage
Yes.
girls, Sabrina. But,
Yeah.
what could she? Any secret she told you about Sam that you didn't know?
Nothing I really could reveal.
Nothing you can reveal to the
ruffling
general public.
feathers.
Told in
I don't want to ruffle anybody's
in
feathers.
secrecy. No, you don't want to ruffle feathers, but.
But I met up with her many times, and we've hung out and had some good times, dinners and drinks. And
So I guess, I mean,
socializing.
as far as the whole gang, who do you got left to meet? Maybe Malika, his wife. Other than that,
Never met or talked to her. I never even sent a
I've talked to her on the computer. We've exchanged messages. Yeah.
I've never done that.
Facebook. I was scared. She actually contacted me. I was like,
Really?
I said I was scared to message you. Kind of silly, I know, but that's how you feel. You're like, oh, I don't know,
Well,
but
I thought it'd be odd because it's like, I don't know. I didn't want to take it too far.
yeah, you think the stars get big, then you meet them and you realize they're just normal people like you. But in your head, you don't realize that at first. But Charlie Hubert, let's talk about that a little bit. The TV show. He did that for a little while. Well, what did you think of him doing that? Did you like it? Or?
Oh, I loved it when it came out. It was, I believe, it was Fox, wasn't it? Fox
put that out. Yeah.
And I remember back in the day, it was old grainy VHS tapes, and I remember hitting, programming the VCR to turn on and record, and while I was at work, and I remember there was a power outage, and I was so fucking pissed. Because what
You couldn't
happens
get it,
when the
right?
power goes out, guess what? And you're at work, you come home, and everything's just fucked. I didn't get my show tape. So, but eventually, I got them, and eventually, Dennis had them on DVD.
That's right. And we exchanged a lot of stuff. Yeah, we helped
did
each other
trade.
out to boost each other's
We
collections.
trade and make copies of things that people were selling. We never made money off him, but people made money off us.
Oh yeah, they made a lot of money off us. Yeah, but
Oh yeah.
if there was one item out there you'd want to have, or one that you don't have, what would be the one item you'd want to see?
Well, let's see. I always wanted that HBO coat, the first one, and I got that. That's
You
my
got that,
prize
yeah.
possession. But I guess if I had something else to throw out there, I'd probably like to get that face guitar from the Under My Thumb video.
Bill still got that. He brought it out. He let us hold it. But yeah, it'd be nice to have it in your possession.
If that Corvette he was driving, because I'm a Corvette freak.
Yeah, you got a few Corvettes yourself, right?
I
You got a fleet, you told me, right? Yeah,
I got
3 is a fleet?
They say over 3 is a fleet.
All right, so you got a fleet of Corvettes. But the X-Rev, I remember
got 4
at the end of the special, he spun off in it. Yeah.
That'd be kind of a cool piece to get your hands on.
I always thought because, I mean, it's kind of creepy, but I mean, the car that he got in the car accident with, it's got to be sitting in a junkyard somewhere. But
Wasn't
I mean,
that a Trans Am or something?
it was a white Trans Am. But I mean, they say Sam was talking to God, so it was almost like God touched that car, talking to Sam. What?
Yeah.
I mean, were you ever creeped out by the way? I've thought about it endlessly that he was talking to the other side, before he
I believe
died.
that stuff though, so it doesn't.
I do
really-
too, but I mean, did you think it was weird where you don't hear stories like that often where they're talking to the other side? But
No, you don't. But when you realize someone like him who used to be a preacher and had faith, he never lost his faith, no matter whatever he became.
oh yeah, it was a lot of Hollywood. I don't care what because he did a lot of Jesus jokes because you relate to your real stuff life. That was what he did in real life.
In his soul, he really believed what he believed, and no one could change his mind.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like that. I believe in God.
Absolutely. I think
I
there's a
don't think your energy dies.
No.
In your body, when you check
go
out,
somewhere.
you go somewhere, and
Hopefully it's a good place.
hopefully you're not stuck in a hotel like this raping people.
You don't know how you go, right, man? But I actually put
horrible. Sorry about that. I shouldn't have said
it's
that.
like your podcast. You can say anything.
Sorry.
Just like Sam, but I put a picture of Sam out there on Facebook, and I asked my fellow comics to chime in. So let's let's see what we got. Daniel Sasso Juice, he put the Scream, which we said he was best known for the Scream. And
Yeah.
Sam said he was driving in New York one time, and some guy he's like, "What, did I cut someone off?" And he's like, he was imitating the Scream, but he was known as a screaming comic, right?
Yes.
Dangerfield's HBO clip from Ralphie Joyle, which, like we said, Rodney Dangerfield gave him a break, and he didn't even want to do the special, right? Because he thought it was a contest.
You thought it was a contest.
He's saying, I'm not going to do it. Yeah, because you never win with dirty comedy.
Yeah.
Even if you're the funniest, they want clean comics, so no matter how funny you are. Then Rodney called his brother Bill, and Bill said the same thing. Hey, you don't do contests. And finally, they talked him into it, and 6
Rodney
minutes
got
later...
pissed. He goes, what the fuck?
I know, what's up with you guys, man? It ain't a contest.
Goddamn fucking
It's a fucking
contest.
showcase.
He's missing an opportunity. I
But,
can just hear him yelling.
And they say that Rodney bumped someone off the show when Sam finally just said it. They'd never tell him who. To this day, we don't know who he bumped off. He wouldn't tell anybody.
Nobody knows.
But Eddie Vizina says he saw Sam at Club Casino shortly before he passed. And he did a killer impression of Andrew Dice Clay, who they had a big argument back in the 80s. I think they settled things afterwards. They were actually good friends. But as any good friends, you have your arguments. And
it happens. Me and you hated each other.
And that's right. We can't. Now we're brothers, man. We can't see. So
we're brothers.
It's a love-hate relationship and everything. Well, here's a good one, which I didn't even think of. He had a kick-ass metal band that he performed Wild Thing with. Who was it? Randy Hansen.
Randy Hansen.
And you remember the name of the band?
Randy Hansen.
Was it the Randy Hansen band? I don't even know. But he was the leader of it anyway. I don't know whatever become him. He's still touring. Still doing it.
What he is he does Jimi Hendrix impersonation.
Yeah, right.
And he sounds and looks just like him. He came to Anchorage and performed in a small venue.
Yeah, I think Sam was like the top of his career, and it was smaller venues after that. But Sam was playing stadiums, you know.
You should check out Randy. He's still around, and he is awesome.
I'd love to catch him if he came around, but yeah, to see where he's touring.
Good guy.
Now this was a popular one here, which I mean I thought it was good, but it's not as everybody's talking about it. The episode he did about Married with Children.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
I loved it. I thought, man, for him, I thought it'd be kind of hard to throw him into something clean because he's dirty, you know.
But he made it work, yeah.
He pulled it off really good.
Now I don't know if you knew this or not, but they say when the idea of Married Children came around, that they actually thought of Sam for Al Bundy and Roseanne Barr for Peggy before they cast him. Did you know that?
I didn't.
Could you imagine that show if those two had got cast, how different it would be? Sam and Roseanne as Al and Peggy, but
I would loved it.
That would have been some geniuses at work right
I love
there.
Roseanne. I seen her about 2 years ago. She's awesome. I don't give a shit what the fucking media says about Roseanne.
Yeah,
just because she's a Republican.
You know, you got a camera in your friggin' face every 2 seconds. You're gonna say something wrong, you know, and that's all they remember you for, rather than all the good you did. You know,
it's
one
all
bad
political.
thing.
If you voted for Trump, you're an asshole.
Yeah,
that's not the way it should be. You know, entertainment's entertainment. Leave her the fuck alone. She's a good entertainer.
Yeah, you leave politics out of it. So it's America. Everybody's got your opinion. I got mine. That's what America's all about. You know,
it's supposed to be.
Yeah, tell other people, you know, what your fucking opinion should be, right?
Being a Republican nowadays is kind of like being a gay in the 70s. You know they existed, but nobody would talk about
it. Right? Sam did a lot of those jokes.
So,
right?
Think about
he broke all the rules. Now, Frank Santarelli, who was from The Sopranos, he said that Sam came to Boston one and he caused quite the ruckus. Now, I mean, here's a guy who had probably the rowdiest fans of the time following him, but I mean, did you ever see Sam live?
Oh, yes.
How many times did you see him live?
Oh, probably about 6 times, and it was always in Illinois.
Okay.
Springfield and Peoria, and those were the two.
Now, was it always rowdy concerts? I mean, was it laid back, or did people get going?
It wasn't like what, probably the earlier, I've seen the later versions where it was more mellow, it was bigger arenas.
Well, he started to clean up. Toward the end, he was cleaning up. When he killed, he
wasn't
cleaned up his life.
He wasn't actually playing guitars or anything at the end of the shows when I'd see him. It was just all comedy.
Right.
And he always had Carl as the front man, or
the opener, man.
And it was always funny, and it was always different. There was always something different about it. I wasn't seeing the same damn show over and over and over. They always mixed it up and made it new. Each
try and do a different performance, not the same thing every night. I mean, you got your standard jokes, but you know, you want to give the crowd something different every night. Jake Jacobson brings up, I'm sure the camera guy could have gave this guy a sandwich, which he was talking about, you know.
Right.
Send us some money so we can feed little Haji over here. Well, you're filming them. You must have a sandwich. Why didn't you give them one for the day, right? But
why didn't they neuter them or give them rubbers? Why did you want to fuck knowing you don't have a fucking job and you got 42 kids? I got
no food to feed them and no water to give them. But
42 kids
they got
you can't already
fuck.
Feed, and yet you're going to still fuck.
No food, no water, but we got time to fuck.
There's
something
sex
right
ed
there,
out
man.
there. Send some sex ed teachers out there.
But that was his genius. Nobody else would touch, you know. Touch subjects like that he wouldn't touch. But Tom Metter said that he went to a concert. I remember I'm friends with Tom from way back when. He went to one of Sam's concerts and he threatened to throw him out because he was getting too rowdy. So Tom was one of the rowdy fans. And one of Sam's videos there, they showed that a kid went up to him with a question and he had on a dice shirt. He's like, he ain't answering your question. Get the fuck out of here with the dice shirt on. He didn't want to hear about it. But
made him take it off, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He ripped it off. Remember his bare shirt, and Sam was still telling him, "I'll come to one of my concerts wearing a dice shirt." But Mike Clark, Lenny Clark's brother, he says, move to where the food is, which we talked about that. Get out of the desert, go to where the food is. Mike Wirth, my cousin, he saw him at the Paramount back in the day. He was unbelievable, which, everybody... the scream in the face. This is what marriage looks like. Ah! But that actually came from a true... He got into it with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And that's where that came about. He was just so pissed off his girlfriend. He had a show right after it. They got a big argument. He went in and just, we don't know what marriage is like. Ah! And that's... What he was remembered for was the scream. Say it, say it. Diane Fisher, she came out. But that was from the Back to School, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they say, in that Back to School, that none of that was scripted. That, Rodney and him, they just came up with the general idea and they did that all live, which is the best way to do it,
Yeah.
You don't want some writer, like some writer's going to tell Sam Kinison how to be funny, You don't tell Sam how to be funny. He knew,
And you have a script that's signed by Rodney.
Right? I do. One of the original Back to School scripts I do. And I got the original A-Tuck script, which... Talk about A-Tuck. That was a creepy... It's almost scary to own that script because it went through Sam's hands and he died. It went through Chris Farley's hands and he died.
Yeah.
I forget who else, but they call it the Haunted Hollywood script because everybody who thought about reading it ended up dying. So I hope I don't die. I got the script, but I don't want to be in it.
Don't read it. Just don't
That's
read
right.
it.
Just don't mess with the thing. It's a good collectible, but that's about it. But, so, what would you have liked as a fan? If Sam had lived, what would you like to have seen him go on to do?
Well, there was rumors that they were going to make a new Honeymooners show and make him like the Jackie Gleason type thing. I think that would have been great,
Bill said he was actually talking about a talk show of some sort that he was in the works before he passed away, but...
Yeah.
I think movies. Do you think he would have been a huge movie star?
Eventually,
stealing Back to School,
I think eventually, but he was so kind of stubborn to a point where, like with the Took, he didn't like the script. He'd sign.
And he said he's not going to make a bad script. That'll kill your routine. He ain't going to do that to the fans, right? It was a shitty movie,
He doesn't want to be remembered for making shitty movies. So, I think eventually he would have got a script he liked.
Well, what kind of movie would you like to have seen him in?
Anything he would have done would have been good.
Because he did the rewrites on the A-Tuck script, what he thought was funny, but it was too late. They pulled the plug.
What would you like to see?
Sam, some sort of marriage, because all his views on marriage, I don't know, but some sort of Married with Children would have been good. That's why he was thought of, but some movie about marriage would have been good. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, let's wind it down here because we're doing a half hour here. That's not bad.
How much time? It's been a half hour. Right?
Yeah, see, time flies when you're having fun, when you're talking about the genius. But
next time we'll have a few real beers and not just fucking.
That's right. We're gonna go to a place that's not haunted and they actually have a liquor license. Which is weird because they got a bar, but they got no liquor license, man. But
hey, swing the camera and show them.
But we've had there's a bar over there. They know. But we've had some good times and we're still kicking. We're still going at it. But what do we got to look forward to? What else are we got to do with Sam fans here?
Oh, who knows? Every time I think I've collected something or I've seen it all, every now and then something pops up.
You didn't even know existed, right? I know, yeah.
Vice versa happens to you.
Now you're visiting here. You came to Masters a visit, and I showed you my Sam collection.
Yes.
What was some of the stuff you didn't know?
Well, I knew you had that It Took script.
Yeah.
And
now the skateboard, did you know about that before you seen it, or?
I never seen one of those before.
I'm
interested in it. I don't skate by all means, or never.
No, I don't. Well, when I was younger, not anymore. My size.
I never skated, man.
Yeah, they did a skateboard company did 5 dead comedian skateboards. The Sam was the 6th, was a short print's really tough to come by, but I came by one. But
and then you got this really awesome. Whoever the artist was did a really great job. It's a little statue of Sam.
Yeah, terracotta piece that's hand carved and they etched into the bottom of his foot. The artist signed it. That's a good piece of art.
One of a kind.
We had a doll too, which you actually took a picture of the doll. Sammy doll was an artist, one of a kind, not mass produced, but put out there.
I took a picture of that.
And that's on, and you sent it over to Sherry, Bill Kinison's wife, Sam's brother.
Yep.
What does she have to say? She didn't even know it existed either, right?
She didn't know that existed.
We always know stuff's out there. There it is, right there. You see the doll? There's the doll, the one-of-a-kind doll that I own.
Picture of that.
Made by artists, and that's cool right there,
it's pretty cool. One of a kind. Different. I like different. Different's good.
Yeah, something nobody else has got. That's where you can be proud of the collection. But we're going to keep loving Sam. We're going to keep loving Dirty Comedy. And hopefully we get out to Vegas in December. You're renewing your vows. And you got, actually, Bill, Sam's brother, he's going to be renewing you and your wife's vows. You excited about it? It's going to be a big party, right? It's not going to be a traditional wedding. I mean, we're going to get down and dirty out there.
Every one of my foul-mouthed friends that I've known since I was like 13, like I have a buddy who's coming from, he used to live in White Trash, Illinois, and he'll be there, and I'm looking forward to seeing him again.
Some other, Ron Jeremy, which he was a good friend of Sam's, he's going to be there partying with Ron.
Every one of my heroes were either comics, porn stars, rock stars, and preachers, because they all give you hope.
That's right.
So, at my wedding, there will be
There's going to be hope. There's going to be hope at Dana's wedding.
Well, a vow renewal, and my vow renewal, where we're going to have
That's right.
a porn star, rock star, I got
To
to
renew
a preacher, and a comic.
That's right.
So,
Well, you know what? No matter what, Sam's memory is going to live on. It's going to live on forever. And
hopefully a movie will come out eventually.
and even who was it? Anthrax. They're young kids. They weren't even alive when Sam was doing his comedy, and they heard it. He's getting new fans now that are, just being born that didn't even know his stuff. They put his scream in one of their songs, Anthrax. But there's a whole new generation sitting hip to Sam, so it's going to be good. Well, Nate, I got to tell you. Long live Sam. We started out hating each other. Give me a hug, brother. I love you now, man. I'll tell you, man. We're good friends.
For you now.
That's right. So long live Sam. We're going to keep our collections going, and hopefully you can tune into episode 2 of Funny Like a Clown podcast. This is the one about Sam Kinison, and check out my website, www.denniswirth.webs.com, and
go get some real vodka.
Go get some real drinks. We need a beer for this episode. Next time we're going to have some beers on the episode. All right, brother. Hopefully we'll see you in Vegas. You guys, till next time. Cheers. Keep laughing. Funny like a clown.